Why didn't you tell me about Mum's heart problems?
How did you find
Well,
out?
you called one of her specialists for me. Apparently her heart's on the verge of giving out. And don't you expect me to apologise?
I wouldn't waste my breath trying to get you to, right?
Dad! Dad, why can't you talk to me?
What do you reckon? I'm scared, Roo.
So am I. What are we going to do?
Hello and welcome. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and all the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Coastal News, a home and away podcast. It's been a minute, but Sophie's with me. How are you doing this week, Sophie?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm not too bad. I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I'm good. I'm a trooper.
Have some of your medicine
With
in your glass.
2/3 of it. But yeah, it's going to be fine. We're here. We're trooping on. So, have you been enjoying the weather?
I have.
Been out enjoying the weather?
Hasn't been brilliant all week here, but it has been nice today. The sun came out this afternoon, and I've been in the garden. I've actually had the day off work today as well, which has been nice.
It's lovely, isn't it? It's got me in the mood for a holiday, you know.
I know. Yeah. Have you got any plans? I haven't got any plans at all this year.
Are you going to make some?
I'm going to have to. Yeah. I've got a lot of things up in the air with work. I won't bore you with the details, but I might not have.
Please don't.
I might not have a job in a month. I'm not sure. I've handed my notice in.
What?
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on. We're going to have to rewind and start this podcast episode again after this.
I'll come back to this later, but yeah, so
right.
I'm not sure whether I'm going to be holidaying or looking for a job. So there you go.
All right, holidays are off the cards.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, blimey. Well,
unless
I know
someone wants to give us some money to go to Summer Bay, and then we can go to Australia, can't we?
Yeah, and you can do that by subscribing. Yeah, we need to get there. We'll sort it. Well, I suppose we need a job first, but yeah. Okay, well, yeah, you fill me in on that later.
I will.
I mean, I've been at work as well, but the weather's been so good here. It's got me in the mood for a holiday. I don't have any plans. The answer to your question. I might go over to the house. You know, I have a house.
Oh,
so,
yes.
I think we're thinking July time.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah, and we always go in sort of October time, so I'll probably just nip over there. You know.
Lovely. Yeah.
but nothing special.
No.
So, which means we're up to date on home and away, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. We've got lots to get into this episode this week, so we'll try and cover everything for our listeners. But if you love listening to this and you love chatting all things home and away, this isn't all. We're also online on Twitter and Instagram at Coastal News Pod. Come and say hello. Come and chat about home and away with us. I know many of you do. Especially when it comes to very dividing character opinions. And I'm really crap at sitting on the fence.
Me too.
So do let us know what you think about me and Chloe. And also, if you want more, there's loads of extra bonus episodes that you can access by being a paid subscriber. It costs you 99p. You won't miss it. And you can click on the link in the episode description of this podcast episode to subscribe, and you'll get access to the whole back catalogue that we've had so far. Every week, there's an extra bonus episode released every Wednesday. The latest episode, we were talking all things the diner, the iconic diner.
Yeah.
And the potential changes to the location, because in real life, the pier diner is being demolished. Dun, dun, dun. So listen, check that out, and you'll hear lots of other behind the scenes chit chat as well along the way. Should we do this?
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast. Let's do it. So we hear via the telephone, Sophie, earlier this week that Leah is in Oz. She's back down under.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
What
visiting
did you think?
Dimitri, isn't she?
She's
Theo's dad.
She's visiting Dimitri on the DL.
Yeah.
You know, Justin secretly sort of knows about it.
Yeah.
And Theo, it doesn't take him long. He overhears Justin on the phone,
Yeah.
and he's a bit upset, isn't he? Sort of storms out of the restaurant, and John, and we know John is the only person he's confided in about the situation with father. And he's a bit upset, but he calms down. He goes back to the meal, but he does eventually call Justin out and says, "I know Leah's back," doesn't he?
Yeah. I think it's horrible that they're lying to him, don't you? I wasn't very comfortable with this.
No, I didn't like it at all.
No.
I don't know what the reasoning behind it is. Why would Leah come back from being in Cyprus for all that time and not come right home to her partner, her business, her life, her friends? Why would she? Okay, there's this sort of in between bit where Justin's probably been filling her in about what's going on. We saw a couple of voicemails or phone calls to her, didn't we? Oh, I'm sorry about the time zone, but I really need to speak to you about Theo.
Yeah.
So we know that she knows something's up, but I'm struggling to believe she would just go straight to Dimitri without coming home to talk to Theo.
I think it's just stalling for time, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I do. And then I thought, she better have been in Cyprus all along, Has she been in Australia the whole time?
You mean the character, Leah?
Yeah.
I think she has really gone to Cyprus, but I think, I don't know, I think possibly the whole she's in Cyprus storyline, you can't drag that out forever, but maybe the actress can't come back yet, so they've gone, oh, she's back in Australia now, but she's still not back on screen. And it's just tagging on another storyline of reason why she's not here. But for me, it's not really working. I don't know. I don't like the secret thing. I mean, we were saying ages ago that we're not fans of Theo, but we've changed our mind since then. I actually do kind of feel sorry for him now. I do kind of like him now. Warmed up to him. But I just don't think lying to him about this, and he's asked outright quite a few times to Justin, where's Leah? Is she coming back? Have you heard from her? And he's had loads of opportunities to tell him the truth and say, well, actually, she's back and she's visiting your dad. But he hasn't. He's just carried on lying, and I think, I don't know, it's damaged their relationship a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't sit right, does it? We were saying only last week how much their relationship is really blossomed, and it's become something I'm really looking forward to seeing. I really enjoy their scenes now.
Yeah, me too.
When you think, and it's a massive U-turn, when you think how we couldn't stick the bloke just a few weeks before, and listeners will know this who listen to us regularly. Only a matter of weeks ago we were slagging him off to high heaven. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that we've done this huge U-turn on him ourselves, however, there's one key piece of information that we know that Justin doesn't. So sometimes you've got to try and put yourself in Justin's shoes a little bit. But to me, I'm thinking, it's a bit of, I agree with you. It's not really working. It's a bit weak.
It is a bit.
Because at any time, Leah could have picked up the phone to Dimitri and been like, what's the crack?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I don't know whether it's me, but Justin's just not very good at this emotional stuff, is he really?
You were saying this, weren't you, last week?
Yeah. I mean, he tries, bless him. He does try because he's had to step in for Leah and Marilyn with lots of people lately who've come to him with problems and needing advice, and he has been trying. But it's not in his wheelhouse, really, is it? It's not his forte.
No.
And I think because of that, because of who Justin is, he's not reading between the lines when Theo's talking about his dad. And he's not picking up on how he actually feels about him. I think he just thinks Theo's just been a naughty kid, and him and his dad have had some friction, and it's something that can get sorted out with a phone call or a chat or a dinner or whatever. And it's not. And I think if he listened to Theo and actually saw him, when he was doing the tune up on his car, and he was saying about how he really
Yeah.
likes his car, but it reminds him of his dad, and that makes him not so happy, and all that sort of stuff. I think any normal person would have been like, there's a problem here that's more
Yeah.
than just they fell
Yeah,
out.
this has gone a bit deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the sign, but that was the clue that he's just not
Yeah.
picked. You're right, he's just not picked up on it, has he?
I
He's
don't
just
think
not
he
good at
has.
that.
I think he's just gone, they just need to have a sit down and get over it. And it's like, I think you've missed. And also, I think there was a scene where Theo and Justin were in the diner having one of their many, many takeouts or whatever since Leah's been gone. And Justin said something like, don't you miss your family? Don't you want to call your dad? And Theo was like, categorically, no, I don't want to talk to him. And I think that would have given me a pause for thought as well. Just like, okay, what is going on between them? This isn't just a regular fallout.
Yeah.
Something has happened that
Yeah.
makes him so anti his dad.
Yeah, it would make me sit up and think as well. And I actually even think it would have made me go and speak to John. Because it's no secret that he's grown close to John.
Yeah.
And I'd maybe gone to John and I'd maybe gone, I'm a bit worried about Theo, Has he said anything to you at all? And John would have just crumbled.
He would. Well, John's tried to give him a hint, hasn't he? Because obviously he's trying to do right by Theo and not tell Justin. But I think Justin said something to John a couple of weeks ago, and I can't remember what the conversation was, but Justin said, okay, don't worry, I'll back off. And then he said, yeah, but not too much, Justin. That was a clue. Another one that it's too subtle for Justin.
Yeah. Well, there was a few, though, that were a bit like a sledgehammer, to be honest, this week. Like when he run out of the restaurant and he finds him in the office with John, and he's like, and we're just talking about, and then he's gonna water the plants, and then
court ordered.
I know, yeah, but I tell you what, you want to get some of this down to paint your garden beds, Sophie.
I know, right? I need a miscreant.
Your favourite miscreant or delinquent. Your favourite delinquent, he was called, wasn't he?
In top 3, John said.
And also when John announces he's going to go and see Jet for a bit.
Oh yes.
And he visits the garage, doesn't he? And he says,
with the coffees,
I'm not going till tomorrow, so if you need anything, you know where I am. And I'm thinking, he can't. This literally is as subtle as a sledgehammer now.
Yeah,
something is up, and Justin's just like,
just clueless. And even John
yeah.
was trying to dig, wasn't he? Because obviously Theo had heard just on the phone saying, how's things with Dimitri? How are you getting on? And Theo had heard all of that, so he knows he's at his dad's house. He's told John. And even John's trying to get the information out of Justin. So John at the garage was like, oh, Justin, have you heard from Leah? Is she coming home? And Justin lied again, didn't he? And then John and Theo were looking at each other because they both know that they've just heard a lie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just awkward.
It's really awkward, isn't it? And it only sort of, and maybe it is serving its purpose, but it only sort of makes me feel even more for Theo,
Yeah.
Because he's trapped with this secret. He's managed to confide in John as a mate, and he's still trapped. He's still trapped by it. And he's got nowhere to go, and he's going to lose control of the narrative by Leah speaking to the dad first.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that scene where he phones Leah's just to test it. Sorry about the time zone. You're like,
Yeah. Must be the middle of the night there. And she's like,
yeah. She's answered on one ring. So and Justin jumps to. I think Justin does. He does sort of. He comes to a conclusion, but he sort of jumps to it. In that I think he thinks that Theo's going to run off. Because he's unhappy about. He's unhappy that they've gone behind his back, and I think he thinks, I want you to stay in the bay. This is your home.
Look like that, doesn't it? If you think about it from Theo's perspective, his auntie's just gone to try and reconcile his relationship with his dad. He's living with them at the moment. I'd be thinking, they want me out. They want me to go back home, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on.
They want rid of me because they want me to make up with my dad so that I can go away. That's what I would be thinking.
It's not a welcoming message, is it?
It's not, is it? And if it wasn't that, then why keep it a secret? It doesn't
Exactly.
make sense.
And that's probably what's going through Theo's mind. And Justin sort of panics and thinks, oh, I know, I'll offer him an apprenticeship. That'll
Oh
keep
God.
it. And I mean, to be fair, he does have that really nice scene with him, and he says, this is where you belong.
Yeah.
We've come a long way together. Yada yada yada. I want you to
Yeah.
stick around. I'll offer you this apprenticeship. But and he jumps at it. It's like because Justin's sort of being the did really.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
it puts Ziggy's nose out of joint, though, doesn't it?
Oh, I know. Gosh, she really wasn't happy about that, was she?
No, she's become a suffragette since the last time we saw her.
I know. This kind of annoyed me because absolutely get her point about more women need to be represented in mechanics and that kind of thing. But she used that as an excuse, and it's kind of lame, isn't it?
She did. I just thought, why don't you just be honest with yourself and with Justin, just say he's a liability and you don't want to work with him.
Yeah. I think it's kind of, that's a really good message to have. Like Ziggy's message was a really good one to have, but I just think it was just minimized by the fact that she's only saying that because she doesn't want Theo to work there. So it kind of annoyed me. I was like, don't hide behind feminism. This is because you've got a personal vendetta. This is annoying. But if
it annoyed. I'm glad you felt the same as me, because obviously not being female, it annoyed me, but for the same reason. In that I'd be all for it. Empowerment. Da 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 da. But you literally just said to Justin the scene before when you were in the garage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one that's going to have to deal with him. So that is your real reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're going to have to deal with him rocking up late, being on his phone, all the stuff we've seen before, That's the reason you don't want him there, not because a woman hasn't had the opportunity.
I know. I was a bit disappointed by her because normally, Ziggy tells you straight, and I would have thought I'd have had more respect for her if she just said, look, I really don't want to work with him. I don't want to supervise him. I think he's a liability. He doesn't put shift in. You know what I mean? She's got loads of real reasons for not employing him, but he's not a girl. It just annoyed me.
Yeah, same. Well, don't worry, she's keeping the CVs on file.
Yeah.
Add yours to it.
That'd be awful. I can't even change a tyre. Yeah, I can just about clean my car. That's about it. But do you notice how quick she came round when Justin said something like, I want to keep this a family business? And she said, oh, what about me then? And he goes, well, you are family. And then she was like, oh, okay. Like, she's fine with it now.
Yeah. I'll see what you mean. Yeah, you've said the F word. Oh, great. Everything's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I think I actually mouthed, because I'm one of these that talks to myself, what.
And me, yeah. You can tell we're both chatting.
I think I went, oh, that's that then, to the wall or something.
I think I said something like that as well. I was like, oh, now she's happy. Oh dear.
Did you know that you can play Coastal News, a home and away podcast, right from your Amazon Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play Coastal News now. And of course, you can still catch your latest episodes on all other podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Castbox, Audible, Player FM, and much more. Just search Coastal News, a home and away podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts from. Well, someone who's not very happy in the Bay this week is Chloe.
Oh, God.
So she continues her sort of... I'm going to have to be careful describing this, because I just get creepy because the incidental music goes very dangerous every time she's on screen.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, does it want me to think she's a psycho?
Yes.
It's literally a hop, skip, and a step from music.
Yeah, you can tell every time you think that when she's pretending to be upset, they play that music, and it's like, she's not really upset, she's being evil.
Yeah, it's like evil. Like, I'm saying, okay, you're telling me now. Hate her.
She's evil. They might as well just have a voice that just says, Chloe's being evil.
It's the God voice from the USA.
Yes.
Chloe is temporarily evil.
Maybe we should put audio description on and see if it describes her as evil. Get your nan to turn it on first.
Chloe's in the mirror, laughing to herself easily. So, got it.
Yeah.
But no, she's sort of, there's this attachment to Bella through her support, you know, her nemesis come confidant.
Yeah.
And she's where we left her off. She'd interrupted Bella and Nick's dinner date over at the farm last week, didn't she? And she's there. She's like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" She's walked all those miles from the bay with this cake. So she's getting in the way. Nick's clearly not happy. And all week long she's like that, and then she gets her to stay up all night while Nick's asleep, and they watch films, but she's actually it was a bit I thought, oh my god, she's taking pictures of her asleep
and with the camera noise on as well. I was like, you trying to get caught? That would wake me up, and I'd be like, what are you doing? And she was sitting there writing in her diary again. Did you notice? And like, has she not learned a lesson? She was writing her evil plans in her diary again. And she was saying something like, "Oh, I thought I'd got rid of Nick or whatever." And like by crying, she said to me, "I blowed my heart out, and he still didn't go away," or something. I was like, "I can't believe you're writing this down." Like,
you've already had to burn half the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually thought of you because obviously last time. The diary was just your favorite.
It was brilliant. I loved it.
So I think the diary is going to become significant again, I think. And because if you speed forward to later in the week when she's been, because you know Bella's trying to get her assignment done, she's been trying to get banished off by her all day because she's getting in the way and she's interfering, and Dean even tries to step in but fails, doesn't he? To move her. Yeah. And then brings her back.
Like Annabelle the doll, she arrives back.
She's
like a horror film.
She goes back home, doesn't she? Eventually, I think she sort of gets a picture because Bella ends up snapping in a Bella way.
Yeah.
You know, which was what Dean was trying to avoid, but Bella ends up saying, "Give me space." I'm thinking, finally, someone told her. And so she goes home, and then she gets straight to the diary, doesn't she? She's like, "I'm back home," echoey about diary voice.
Yeah.
I'm back home, and it's not good. So she's documenting it all. Yeah. So the diary's got to be significant again, hasn't it?
It has to be. Someone else is going to read that diary, whether it's going to be Mia again or Nick, because Nick's obviously really suspicious of her, isn't he? He's the only one that actually thinks that she's got a problem.
He's the only one that can see what's happening, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not reacting the best, I don't think. Well, we've not really seen much of him other than.
Well, he's reacting how Nick reacts, isn't he? Let's be honest. Yeah. This is what he does. Yeah. But just I reckon he'll get his hands on that because she's openly writing in it, isn't she? She's not like hiding in a room writing it. She's on the sofa at Bella's house, and Nick saw her writing in it. So
what's she been writing in that book?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and especially, you know, we mentioned it off air, what we saw happening in next week's trailer, that might force them to look, because if they realise she's been documenting how she's feeling, what she's doing, it might lead them to what we saw. But we won't say any more on that.
Yeah.
For fear of everything going off track. So, Nick's the only one can see through it at the moment. She's blaming Mia. I can't be around Mia. She's just so sad, you know. And you can't really blame Mia because just a few days before, in the mail, she receives the birth certificate. What am I talking about? The wedding certificate and the death certificate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Rewind that. Yeah.
She said something like, "This is what happens when you get married and your husband dies on the same day," or something, didn't she? Like,
and she just goes on this big bender, doesn't she? Which, to be fair to me, you know,
to be fair,
I would as well.
I would have done that the day after, wouldn't you? I'm surprised she's left it this long, but
And I mean,
Yeah.
that's did you see my tweet about that scene when she was at the bar going, hello, any wine, hello, talking into the wine? I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, me and Mia order our wine the same way.
Keep it coming. I mean, they should have just kept serving her because she might get Mac out of a financial hole if she keeps drinking wine like that.
Oh dear, absolutely.
Oh dear. Bless
And
her.
then, is it? Can't remember now. Is it Tane brings her home?
Yeah, Tane brought her back. I think it was Tane and Flick actually. I think they were both there, weren't they?
Oh yeah, because she's like clocking up and she's gonna go and stay at his house. Oh yeah, it's
Well, they're
all
both
fun,
there because they're both
sexy.
there when she goes for a sleepwalk, isn't she? Yeah. Bless.
Tell me your thoughts on the sleepwalk episode.
Oh gosh, should I? I don't know. Should I say that?
Well, I'd like to hear your thoughts before I say something.
I was trying not to laugh. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm such a horrible cow. I did find it quite funny, not because of the fact that she's like the character's traumatized and sleepwalking and drunk and all that. So that's all horrible. I just found the way it was executed a bit funny, if that makes sense.
Like the cinematography and the performance, or
Just
all
the
of it above.
just the way it was acted, I think. Maybe, I don't know. It's like, oh, that's horrible. Maybe we should cut that bit out. But yeah.
No,
I
no, I get you. I've said it. It's not a horrible thing to say. You didn't enjoy the performance, right?
Not really. No.
I've said it a few times about her.
Well, I did. It made me laugh, so I probably did enjoy it, to be honest.
And I've seen, yeah, no, yeah, but the intended, you've not had the intended reaction that is clearly the intention of the scene, right?
Yeah.
And there's been a couple of, I've said it a few times on previous episodes, so you're not on your own. Like, I just don't think the performance was right, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, on this occasion, I thought for me, it was. I still found it a little comedic, but not for the same reasons as you. I thought the performance was fine because she was dazed and walking around. For me, it was the moonlight, it was the floating dress in the wind and the blowing hair. For me, it was that stuff that just made me think,
yeah,
you know. And I think together with, because you watch other soaps, don't you? I don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You'll have seen a grieving widow on other soaps time and time and time and time again.
Yeah.
None of them, I bet, have gone sleepwalking. Do you know what I mean? You're just thinking, whose idea?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that? And then not only is, I mean, obviously Tane, this is that moment Tane finds her, it's quite dramatic, takes her home, and then and Flick's like, oh my God, where was she? She all right? Oh yeah, she was having a sleepwalk. Put her to bed now. You know, like, no, there was no, it was like, okay, you knew exactly what she was doing, what was wrong with it. You know, not like, oh my God, I don't know, I just found her and she was wandering and she's not, you know, she's confused and she's not responding to me straight. He knows exactly what's wrong with her, what it is, and I suppose it's because of how rapid the Home and Away's pace is that we need to get to that. Oh, it was sleepwalking a lot quicker than you probably would on another soap. Do you know what I mean? So you just got to sort of accept the information you're given and run with it, haven't you? Sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. I hadn't picked up on that, but he was just very like, yeah, she's just been sleepwalking. So either Mia is known for sleepwalking, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or Tane's just not surprised by anything anymore.
It's not surprised him. He knew exactly what it was, and he's just put to bed and carried on with his night. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit like, oh, okay, this is one of those occasions where I've got to accept that information and just that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And we've not seen them since, have we?
No.
So we don't know whether there was a conversation the morning after about, oh, did you know you were sleepwalking last night? Or that's really dangerous, you know, you could have walked into traffic, or you know, we need to go get medical help.
There we go. Do you know what I thought was going to happen? I thought we were going to get Dr. Logan round, and Dr. Logan was going to be like, PTSD. It's PTSD, trauma, sleepwalking, trauma.
Yeah.
And I was kind of glad we didn't, because I'm so over that.
I know. Another week, another PTSD.
Oh God, I can't deal with that again.
She needs someone though. Maybe Dr. Hughes. She needs somebody. She does need to speak to someone.
She does.
Um,
Yeah, she needs some help. Bless her.
um, and also it's sort of, you know, she's a fitness person, runs a gym. She
Yeah,
has a glass. We see her have one glass of wine, and she's sleepwalking. And it's all very dramatic. Well, we've got to sort of take this at face value, haven't we?
I think
We're
so.
being
Yeah,
told ignore all the fantasy, over the top sleepwalking stuff.
yeah,
She's in a bad way. You know,
yeah,
she's not coping, and that's the message I got from it.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. She was looking for Ari, wasn't she?
Yeah.
That's what she
Oh,
was doing. Yeah.
when Tane puts her to bed, and he calls Tane Ari.
I know. She goes, "I
Yeah.
found you," because I think that's what she was dreaming. She was looking for him because he's gone. Oh, it's kind of it is sad. I mean,
It's sad. It's just there's too much cheese.
I know I did find
That's
it
what it is.
a bit cringy, but
Mm.
the underlying story of it is really sad. There's no getting away from that.
It is. It is. And you know, as fans, and we've said this before, we're very critical and all for about everything. We're looking at this through a super fan lens, aren't we? You know,
Yeah.
we're not just watching it because it's on, you know.
Mm.
So of course we're going to analyze it a bit deeper than perhaps it's intended to be done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but overall, we get it. We get the message. She's not coping, and I'm just a bit like, and I don't think Chloe can be around her through the guilt,
No,
because Chloe's
no,
seeing what a mess she is.
and it's her fault.
It brings the guilt
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's
Mm.
not really her fault anymore, if you know what I mean, because if Ari was still rotting in a prison cell, then I think Chloe could still feel guilty about that, and obviously she still feels guilty that she's a murderer and she's got away with it. I think that's the problem. Ari
Yeah.
dying is nothing to do with Chloe, really.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And you know, you said the other week, Ari had to die to get the storyline resolved.
Yeah,
You know, when you were saying if Ari would have stayed in prison,
yeah, it'd have to go to court and stuff, wouldn't it?
yeah, and Chloe and Mia,
Yeah,
at some point it's going to come out, in it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I
He
don't.
would have got sentenced, wouldn't he? So either it would have come out during the court hearing, she'd have blurted something out. It wasn't him, it was me in the courtroom.
Yeah, yeah,
Or he'd have got sentenced, and then it would have been like, okay, my mum's never going to see him again because he's gone down for life. And then she'd have a mental breakdown because it is all her fault that they'll never be together.
yeah.
So I think,
So with
yeah,
Ari sort of accused and now dead,
yeah,
it's like the truth is also dead and buried, isn't it? Do you know what
I
I
think
mean?
so. Yeah, but I think she's still struggling with the fact. I don't think she's struggling at all with the fact that, well, that's the wrong way of saying it. She is worried about her mum, obviously, but I don't think that's the real reason why she's not going home.
Yeah,
I think still it's the whole her dealing with it, being a murderer.
yeah, I do. It's the guilt.
Yeah,
Completely.
yeah,
I completely agree. I don't think she can be around Mia because
yeah,
she's telling herself she's caused all this harm.
yeah,
Like you say, even though the cancer was unrelated,
yeah,
if she was locked up for it, rightfully,
yeah,
Ari would have still had cancer.
yeah, and they'd be in a worse position really
Yeah,
because then Mia would have lost a daughter to prison and a husband
yeah.
to cancer.
But
So
Chloe doesn't seem to be separating the two, does she?
no,
Mm,
no,
mm. See where this goes. I'm hoping it's going somewhere soon.
it's
But
got to, hasn't it? Unless they just one day they wake up and they go, oh, we're just getting on with our lives now, and that's it, and they'll never talk about him again like they did with Robbo.
yeah. Mia sleepwalks into the sunset. You're now leaving Summer Bay. Thanks for visiting.
Oh dear. Yeah, they give it a couple of months and then they get over people pretty quick. I mean, look at Jasmine. She had a massive meltdown when Robbo died, and then after that, it was like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, she took a while, Jasmine, though.
Yeah,
To be
she
fair
did.
to her, but you're right. Yeah, yeah.
And then we
Life
never
goes
heard
on.
about him again. And the daughter, like his daughter that she was obsessed with for all that time, and she's just gone to London now. And she's like, yeah, bye.
Yeah. Not one
Okay.
FaceTime. Yeah.
No, it's odd. Like she wouldn't even let her go to nursery at one point, would she? Like
I know.
she was so obsessed with her, and now she's like, yeah, you can live in another country. It's fine. So we'll see.
Life goes on.
It does.
Quickly. So, speaking of life going on, Marilyn's back. Quite underwhelmingly. She's just put a brew on.
Do you know what? I didn't actually notice.
What happened there?
She's kind of snuck back in because I can't remember which episode it was, but she was in the diner and I looked up and I went, "Eh? When did she get back?" It's like I hadn't actually noticed.
I think her first scene was outside at SBH.
Oh, was it? Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah, and she was pouring. She just came on screen. She was pouring a cup of tea, and Rue was there, and she was sat outside on the patio bit, and she's like, "Oh, you know, how was Jet?" And she's like, "Oh, he's fine." I was like, "Wait, is that it?" You know, and she made a very. You must have missed this scene. She made a very sort of, you know, throwaway. Isn't it really sad about Ari? You know, and actually myself. Okay. As fans, we're not the only ones. If you've seen online, we've all been building ourselves up to her finding out about Ari.
Yeah.
You know, because Ari, you know, she accepted him at the beginning. They bonded at the siege at the hospital. She was the only one.
Family.
That helped the Paratas. Yeah. So her finding out that Ari died was a pretty big deal for us to find out how she would react. Marilyn would have been over there with food or something, or you know, should have been there and like I'm back in the bay and I've heard, and you know, I'm so sorry what happened. Like Ari should be upset about it. You know, what is going on? She's just sort of mentioned it and then gone to work.
Yeah, I think I must have missed that scene. I'd probably eaten pizza or something. I get distracted with food in my mouth. But I missed that. But the first one I saw was when she was at work and she was just waiting on tables, and I was like, "Oh, you're back. Oh, okay." I would have thought there would be more of a fanfare. I don't know. It was a bit odd.
Yeah, I know the scene you mean. She goes in the diner and she's like, "Oh, Irene," because she leaves this scene that I'm talking about, saying, "I'm going to go and speak to Irene now and find out if I can get my shifts back."
Yeah.
And Irene says, "Oh my God, Father, yes, I've been with you and Leah gone. I'm run ragged here and I need an holiday." You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, I saw that bit. Yeah, she went something like, "Can I go on holiday next?" or something.
Yeah. God save Ireland, let it be me type. Yeah. So she's got all these shifts now. So she's back there.
Yeah.
Craziness. I'm trying to work out if she's improved. You know, if she's still snappy. You know,
she didn't really get much airtime. Look, that's why I was so confused by it all. Because she was just like, "Oh, you want a coffee? Brilliant, I'll get you a coffee." And I was like, "Is that it?" She's not been there for weeks, and when she left, she was in a really bad way. So, is this it?
Yeah.
Like, just you can have a coffee and the lasagna. Sit on table 4. Is that it?
Yeah. You know when you do that thing where you put your glasses on to listen better. That was me. That was me. Like, where's my glasses? Because I need to just find out which Marilyn have we got, old one or new one. Like, and I can't work it out. I'm still up in the air.
Yeah. You put your glasses on to listen better, and then when you're in the car, when you're driving, and you get to the place where you're going, you turn the radio down so that you can see better. Why do we do that? I have no idea. Yeah, it was I don't know. It's a bit of a bit of a letdown.
And rather than sort of be concerned about her friend Ari and the family, what they're going through, she sort of ends up embroiled in what's going on with Rue and Alf.
Yeah.
And Alf has come back. He's told us that it's not looking good for Martha.
No,
she's
Go on,
you say it.
I want you to say it.
She's crook as Rookwood, doll.
I'm not that. I love the phrases. I just love the way they talk. It's brilliant. But
Rookwood is a cemetery. There you go.
Oh, okay.
So if you're crook as Rookwood, you're pretty ill if you're in a cemetery, aren't you?
Oh, that's quite dark, isn't it? That's quite a dark one. Ooh.
Crook as Rookwood. So immediately Martha's like, what? You know, not Martha, Rue.
Yeah.
You know, panic mode, and because Rue's been battling, hasn't she, with this? Do I, since the first phone call, you know, do I do I know what's gonna how we're gonna and she's not sleeping, and it's all she's doing and thinking about, and it's consuming everything that she's doing at the minute. And obviously now this news knocks her for six a bit, and she wants to go to her. We were laughing last week, just bloody go. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and this week it's Alf saying, I don't think you should go. You know, and he said, and if you do go, you better make damn sure you keep a lid on your feelings. I thought, oh, Alf's getting his finger out. You know, he's pointing.
Again, what did you think of this? Because I think I was a bit disappointed by Rue this week. What do you make of it?
This whole thing is disappointing me about Rue.
Yeah.
Because I think when we've discussed this in previous weeks, it's been a bit like, we get it, you know, but ultimately there's nothing you can do about the situation. You are now wasting time with your mum.
Yeah.
You know, if this is what she's chosen, are you really going to spend her last however long she's got on this earth, having not spoken to her for 30 odd years? Are you really going to spend this time arguing with her? I know I wouldn't.
No, I don't think I could either. I mean, you can feel both things, can't you? You can feel annoyed that she has given up and she had an alternative and it could have saved her and all of that sort of stuff. You can be annoyed about that, but don't do that at the expense of not being there and not seeing her. And I don't know, I just feel like she's so stubborn. But then is that the point? Is it's to show us that she's so much like Alf?
Yeah, she's a Stuart. She's got Stuart blood. Yeah,
she has. Yeah,
and that is the point in it. She's just like her father. She's digging her heels in, and she's and you know, and everybody around is telling her, phone her.
Yeah,
you know, don't go there. But I think Irene says, well, why don't you just say hello, Dal?
Yeah.
And you know, that just open the line of communication and see what happens.
Yeah,
Marilyn says
anything.
it, Justin says it, John says it, and I think eventually she's sort of battened down. She makes the call, doesn't she? Does she make it? Or it looks like she goes, we don't see it, do we, on screen, but she picks the phone up, doesn't she? Ryder said it, even Ryder's had time to say it.
Well, she finds out how serious it is from Logan, doesn't she? Because Alf doesn't really tell her, does he? He just kind of goes, yeah, she's really ill. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, it's not good. And she's like, what do you mean? And then she goes and sort of twists Logan arm, doesn't she? And says, like, I need you to find out how bad she is. And Logan says, you know, she's getting worse. And also she's got heart disease now. So it's really not looking good. And I thought this would have been okay, it's really bad. I need to get over myself. I need to go over myself, and I need to go and see my mum because she's my mum. You would, wouldn't you? No,
absolutely.
My mum can piss me off a lot. A lot.
Hi, Mum.
She can. Like, that's what mothers and daughters do. Like, they get on each other's nerves. But she's your mum at the end of the day. Like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. And come hell or high water, if you heard that, you'd be there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. Just swallow your pride. Because it's all very well being, I was right. But what's the use of being right when your mum's dead and you didn't say goodbye?
Exactly. Yeah. And we've not got the added complication of comparing our experience with our mums and what we would do to already having thought your mum was dead. Then got back in your life, and your mum and dad then get remarried. I mean, of all the odds, to then find out that she could die again, you just couldn't comprehend that, could you? And she, rather than be there, she spends the time, like, she ends up just sort of sleepless nights, and she starts sort of talking, like preparing herself for it to go, doesn't she? And Irene says she's talking like she's dead. What's going on?
Because she's gone into self-preservation mode, hasn't she? So she's thinking, I've already lost her once, and it didn't, I didn't cope very well with that. So I'm going to lose her again now. I think she's preparing herself for it without or sort of already thinking it's happened, so that when it does happen, she won't feel it as much. Do you think that's what it is? Yeah,
100%. Yeah. I think you're right. You're such a psychologist.
Psycho something.
I was saying to you and Macca on last week's episode, I think this operation's going to happen last minute. She even
Yeah.
says there's still time. And if
Yeah.
it's not with Rue, it might be with somebody else. I'm shocked Kieran's not been on the phone to Rue saying,
Yeah.
get yourself down here. We're going to lose her.
I've got a good idea. Why
Mm.
doesn't Mac sell her kidney to keep the bar open?
Alf there with a big brown envelope under the table.
You could have one of the kidneys for salt. There we go. There you go, Mac, if you're listening. I've just sorted it for you.
Alf will put it in one of his freezer boxes from the bait shop. Strap it to the truck. Oh, that scene with Alf off to Merimbula. He doesn't know. He's only come back. I'm sorry, we're going to have to talk about it. He's only come back to sort out things. It sounds very final. He's come back to town to sort out his affairs, and then he's going to be gone for the foreseeable. What's going on?
I know. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. When he got back in the car and she said, "Well, when are you coming back?" He goes, "I don't know." I was like, "Oh!" I was more upset than his own daughter. Let's be honest. But I was like crying into my chips. I was not happy.
Yeah, it all sounds very final. It won't be the last
does.
we've heard of Alf Stewart. Don't worry. It won't be the last we've heard.
You still think they're going to have the op last minute, do you?
I do, yeah. I still think it's going to be soap opera. We're doing this.
I think I'm doing what Rue's doing. And I think for the last couple of years, I've been preparing myself for Alf to leave. And I think now I'm like, he's going to go. Every time I think he's going to go, I'm like, this is it. He's going to go. He's going to go. I'm so negative because I'm trying to, I'm trying to preempt me feeling really poorly when he goes. I'm like, no. I'm just going to wear black and take to my bed for a week.
Calling in sick to the podcast.
Go on. You're on your own.
It'd be me and Mac she's ragging.
She's in mourning. Oh dear. Yeah.
Emergency family leave. Oh dear.
Oh god. No, I didn't like that scene at all. It was awful.
Yeah, and we'll move on because I think we'll see him again.
I hope so.
Yeah, coming back. I think he'll have talked around. Mac gets some bad news this week, Sophie. She gets the post. She's all cloud nine, giddy.
I'm laughing because when she opened it, it's like stamped, claim denied, claim denied. I was like, making it really obvious to us, the viewer, that her claim has been denied, just in case we were a bit clueless.
Yeah, some big burly Aussie at the with a big stamp, licking the envelope. Post that. Yeah. So this came a little bit out of the blue. I'm not going to lie. So because we've heard nothing of it. Okay, so we take the piss a lot on this show about nobody paying for anything.
I reckon they've heard us, talking about how she run a business when she gives all the food and drink away.
And seemingly things have come home to roost now. So chicken.
I'm not thinking that. Chicken egg.
Listeners are gonna what the hell? So she's put this claim in at some point for loss of earnings from the gas leak that there was the big cliffhanger for us at Christmas.
Yeah.
And we all know about that. It's also led to Martha's dialysis and yada yada yada. So and so it's come through declined. She's not covered for it. And then she sort of panics. She says, "I'm absolutely, I'm done." And and she's foul to everybody. She's foul to Ryder and Logan again for another week. She's taking it out on them. Later on in the week, she's foul to Flick. Working. Yeah. And I think if I was an employee there, I would have chinned her by now. Honest to God, I just think she, because obviously they don't know.
Yeah.
Well, eventually Dean gets it out of her. You know,
Yeah.
she's had this insurance claim denied. She's been running on fumes for I don't know how long. She doesn't know
Yeah.
what she's going to do, and he's got to pay his way. He's got to pay for his bills now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we thinking?
I don't know. I mean, where's this storyline going? That's the thing. That's why I'm not.
Where
It's
the
come
bloody
out.
hell's it come from?
Well, yeah, it's come out of the blue. So it's been a while since the gas attack. I would have thought she would have heard. I mean, how has she been coping so far with that loss of earnings? I mean, obviously, when Ryder went through the accounts, he said she's literally just paying the wages and she's not paid any of the suppliers. I mean, how are the suppliers still sending her stuff if she's not paid? You know,
Yeah,
eventually they cut you off, don't they?
yeah. There's a few holes in the plot, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because that would suggest it's a new problem.
Yeah.
And in the months from now till when all this gas thing happened, she's taken on new staff. Flick.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not, and you'd expect even the odd scene where she's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Dean, make sure you pay for that beer. We needed a few of those scenes a few weeks back, just to plant the seed a bit,
Yeah.
just a couple of odd comments about takings being down or something that might have helped us believe the restaurant was being in trouble.
Yeah.
And we didn't have it, did we? Yeah.
No, there was no sign. It was just the letter turned up, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, but she was already obviously in massive problems before the letter turned up. So why has it never been?
Yeah,
mentioned?
She sort of explained it away, didn't she, to Dean? Like, and also it was long before the gas leak. When she had her breakdown and she lost the baby and she was closing the restaurant, and she was throwing everybody out and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I just feel like maybe we should have heard little snippets of problems before now.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to go along with it for the sake of the plot.
Yeah, I just can't see where it's going. So obviously, Dean, the first thing he thought was, well, Dad's loaded, so let's ask him for the money, which is obviously backfired.
Rick Booth, MP.
So that's obviously backfired massively because he's come back and with a bit of a cheeky offer and said, well, I'll buy it off you, but I'll basically knock the price down, which has obviously annoyed Mac. So if she doesn't go with that, then what is she going to do?
Well, Dean's come good tonight, hasn't he? On tonight's 5-star, he's given us some money to pay the wages. He's cut everybody's hours. She sent Flick home. It's annoyed Flick. Flick thinks she's sexism. And she's popping everyone. Ryder knows because in the end, Ryder's got the password to all the accounts. I mean, he is TAFE qualified now. So that means he gets the access to the accounts because he can make a cocktail. So he's shown the accounts to
Dean.
To Dean. So everyone's aware she's major in the red. I did like it. She's like, Dean, as of now, I'm cutting you off. Like, I'll just pay for my beer. Yeah. And then later on in the week, he just turns it with an envelope full of cash. So he could have paid for his beer all along.
That might have helped over the weeks.
Yeah. So everyone's paying for their beer. No mates rates for Flick's weird unnamed friends. What, like you say, where's it going? Is she going to lose the restaurant? I hope not. I don't want her to lose.
I think she can. Because who else could buy it? There's no one else in the town, really, is there, that could purchase it? I don't think.
Maybe the money from the Parata crowdfunding thing gets diverted because they don't actually need it.
They've only got $5,000 though, haven't they? Was it $5,000?
So far. Yeah, but where the hell have they got that from as well?
Well, it sounded like John Palmer had put his hand in his pocket again.
What is going on? Oh, yeah, don't tell me as well John Palmer will buy another business.
How can he afford it?
Exactly.
I don't get it. Like, the surf club doesn't get him that much money. The job, I mean. He owns the garage.
So that's just a steady rent, innit?
Yeah, so that's just like, you rent, but he's probably got a mortgage on it, has he? So he's paying the rent to the mortgage.
How are they going to save Mac, though? If she gets saved and keeps her restaurant, how is that going to happen? Either another investor or
Yeah, maybe a newbie to the Bay. Is there a newcomer coming or?
Quite possibly, because we've got a lot leaving, haven't we?
Yeah.
Dean made a good comment. You know, your boyfriend's a surgeon. He must have a bit of cash. And I thought, surgeon, okay, just add that to the list.
Surgeon,
He was ED manager last time. Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor Danger. Soldier.
And now and if we didn't know the actor was leaving COVID gate, that would have been my theory. He buys in with her. Do you know what I mean? Like that would have been my go-to theory, but because we know he's going, that's probably not going to happen, isn't it?
Well, do we know he's going? I mean, I know he's leaving, Harley, but is Dr. Logan leaving? I'm still not sure.
You think recast?
Well, I don't know. They've done it before, haven't they?
So, well, if they recast him, then that's a credible theory. Logan goes into the business with her.
Yeah.
And liquidates it that way.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah. That's the only plausible thing I can see happening.
Oh, I can see that causing arguments between them, though, can't you? If he gets a financial stake. Yeah.
Yeah. And he wants to change things.
Yeah, or he just has an opinion on anything, and she'll just like, no, just because you've given me some money doesn't mean you own the whole place. I think that could be quite fiery.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. That's my only plausible explanation at the minute.
Or she wins the lottery, or I don't know.
Then she'd be out of there, wouldn't she?
Maybe she gets, I don't know, can she sue Neek for not saving her from a shark or something? I don't know. I don't know. Medical malpractice against the boyfriend.
Or maybe it's something dead boring, like she just appeals the insurance decision.
Yeah, and they just go, all right then.
Yeah.
Gas attack. Tick.
Yeah. But when you think about it,
arson. Maybe they could burn the place down and claim the insurance again for that, because that is on the insurance.
Well,
Fire.
yeah. But Tane might feel, because the gas leak was aimed at him, and then he's going to be receiving all this money from the community. It's at $5,000 now.
Yes, okay, yeah.
It could increase. So Tane might say, "No, you have it. You know, it was my fault. It was aimed at me. It was, it was all my doing." So
because I guess can you not sue the person that caused the gas attack? You know, what's her name? It's gone to prison. It's gone out of my head.
Anne.
Is it Anne? Yeah. She caused it, didn't she? And obviously she must have had a trial. But then if she's penniless, then they're not going to get any money out of her, are they? So I was just thinking, you would sue the person that caused the problem, wouldn't you, normally, if your insurance doesn't pay out?
Yeah.
But she's probably not got a quid to rub together, has she?
Yeah, that's true. Let's see what happens. We'll have to watch to find out.
Yeah.
And our last topic of the week, Cash looks like he's settled in. Settled in now. Just had a bit of he'd had a talking to by Irene and all's good.
Yeah.
Settled in fine. He's cooking dinner for his housemates. He's laughing and joking. His boxer short water jaunts a thing of the past. It's all in the history books. And everything's happy. And I did like, though, I was thinking of you, because there was a moment where you go into work and Jazzy's like, "Oh, Pulisic," and she wants him to stay with her, and even she's like, "Oh," even she's bored of him. She's like, "Oh, you're so boring. You're not even gonna bunk off work."
No. He's so sensible, isn't he?
I know. He's like, "We'll just live a bit dangerously."
Yeah.
And I think
I know he's a cop, but he doesn't have to be a bent cop or anything like that. But just have a bit of a personality, guy. Come on.
I'm sorry. Robbo was a Fed agent, and he was dangerous as.
Oh,
like he was exciting.
Yeah, but he was sexy as well. Yeah. I don't find Cash very sexy, but there we go.
Well, he's not at work very long anyway.
No,
he's back, and she's like, "Ooh, changed your mind. come for a bit of bathing in July," and he's like, "No."
Oh,
we want to
Oh.
take a seat, and she's like, "Oh God, here we go again."
I love the way that she went. Is Irene okay? Because
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking as well. I was like, oh, what's happened? Who could it be?
yeah, and he's got some bad news.
Mm,
He's found out her biological father's died.
yes.
It happened a little while ago, but they've not been able to track it down for some reason. Um,
This is
and
weird. This is very odd. This
yeah,
whole
she's got
storyline.
no reaction to it, has she? She's got
Not
no.
to start with, no. No. This is
I
all very
like it,
strange.
yeah, because
I-
I've been saying, Jasmine, big favorite of mine, okay,
Yeah.
and I really like her backstory. It's in keeping with the show, the whole
Yes.
foster
Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
grew up in care,
Blended
and
family and all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it all because she's a true Homer's
Yeah.
character for me. And I've said all that before, not going to rehash it again. But so her, I think the shock. I think the shock of the news just sort of sends her into numbness, and she's like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
what does it matter to me? He's had nothing to do with anything I've achieved in life.
Yeah.
And but like it is niggling at her because everyone's checking she's okay. Irene does it. Oh right. Oh gosh, you okay?
Yeah.
And it's only when Flick gets dismissed for the evening, and she ends up meeting up with Flick,
Yeah.
with Jazz,
Yeah.
and they're having that pool game, and Flick's being Flick, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, if it was my dad, oh my God, I don't know what I would do."
Yeah.
And everything just sort of dawns on Jazz, doesn't it? And then it
Yeah.
all comes out,
Yeah.
daddy issues, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Flick was like a sledgehammer, wasn't she? She was like, oh,
Yeah.
he abandoned you. And then he could have just been down the road and he never turned up. I tell you what's bugging me about this storyline is that Jasmine is saying, why did he never come and find me? Why did he never look me up? Why did he never do this? Why didn't she ever do it? She knew his name. Why did she never look for him?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is a bug there, but we're supposed to think, I mean, ultimately he's the father anyway, so it is ultimately the responsibility to stand with him, right?
Yeah, but you'd think he'd be easy to track down than she would be.
Yeah,
because if she was in the foster system, and I don't know how else you'd find Jazz. Like, I suppose
not only that,
nursing records and stuff. You could.
yeah, and put yourself in her shoes. You're in the foster system. You would have. I know I would have had that curiosity when I was an adult and I was free to look people up.
Yeah,
like,
especially with the internet.
Yeah, you'd have been Facebooking it, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, the curiosity would. You must have been curious at some time in your life.
I'd be Googling. Yeah, if you know his name, she obviously knows his name. And she knows details about was he ever married to her mum, or were they just a couple? I don't know. But if they ever got married, there'd be a marriage license to look up and that kind of thing, and that would follow an electoral register and a property address. He might have a business. There might be loads of reasons why you could find him, but she's very much like, oh, he never came to find me. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Completely get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, it was his daughter, and you think he'd want to look for her. And I think she's not dealt with a lot. No. She's not dealt with it, and I think Flick saying that has sort of chipped away at her barrier a little bit.
Yeah.
And now she's going to start asking questions after it's too late.
Yeah.
And she's probably going to blame herself. She's going to sort of think, why did I not look? And we're going to get that insecurity that Jasmine's so famous for.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see that bubbling up now.
Yeah.
It's a really good story because, like I say, I really like her black story, and she's got quite a fleshy story behind her as a character.
Yeah.
And we know from your scoop, siblings are involved.
Yes.
So that's going to complicate. So she's going to learn. She's probably going to go on this sort of journey now where she's going to learn about her family, what kind of father he was. Maybe we don't know, but I'm surmising that might be what will happen, and she'll have a lot to deal with that because she's missed out.
Yeah, and they
And
they might have had a full-time dad. That's
yeah,
what I'm waiting to find out what happens really. So because I'm not really sure whether he had Jasmine first and then went off with someone else and had kids, or he already had kids and then he had a bit on the side and Jasmine was the product of
yeah,
that. And that's what I'm interested to see. I'm trying to hold
yeah,
out to see what the story is,
yeah.
basically.
We don't know yet, do we? And
No.
it's an interesting one because there's so many ways it can go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's broken down. She's come home. She's in his arms, like you say. Why did he leave me? So it's all
Yeah.
coming out now. Like I suppose deep down, maybe she thought one day he would meet, but she's never
Yeah.
done. Like you say, she could have done it herself. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see where that goes. I do love Jasmine though.
Yeah, she's great. I'll be sad to see her go as the actress. I don't know if they're keeping the character on, but I think the actress will be sorely missed.
I agree. I agree. Right, before we go, we've just got time to visit our first look section. Sophie, our favourite section.
I nearly forgot it.
Find out what's going on in Home and Away in the week ahead and what we'll be discussing on next week's podcast. So, Monday at the earlier time of 6 p.m, people over on 5 Star.
What?
Bank holiday. So 6:30 we've got you've got mail. Well, I'll probably just
Is it just Monday? It's only Monday, not the rest of the week.
It's just Monday.
Okay, that's all right. I can't cope with change.
I mean, it's on at 6 anyway, isn't it? But it's the
It's the one before.
one behind.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could always watch it again.
I've got a routine now, Si.
So at the earlier time, this is a public service announcement. UK listeners, Monday it's on early on 5 Star, 6 p.m. Is it on early on? Sometimes it jigs about on Channel 5 as well.
Does that mean it's on at
holiday.
5:30 as well? So is the yesterday's one or the today's one, whatever, on at 5:30 and then the first?
No,
one?
there's just one on.
Oh.
It's dogs behaving very badly.
Oh. Okay, I'm confused.
And after we've got the old, You've Got Mail, Meg Ryan and classic.
Oh yes, where they fall in love and don't realise that they hate each other actually. Okay.
Classic. Right. Nico claims that Chloe is out for revenge.
Sorry.
Saw that coming, didn't we?
I can't talk about that. Yeah.
Also, where was Mia's self-immolation? I was waiting all week for it.
Oh yes, she never set fire to herself at all. In fact, didn't she almost get in the sea?
I was like, tonight's the night, self-immolation. Rubbing my hands together.
Where's the petrol? I don't know. That was weird.
What happened?
Is it because she got drunk? Is that what they meant? Did they mean self-sabotage rather than self-immolation? Is quite dramatic.
Yeah, well, I read the synopsis again. I thought, no, I wasn't that pissed.
I didn't.
Definitely says self-immolation.
Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic picture to paint for us as the viewer. But I think they must have meant when she went on a bender and got drunk.
Yeah. Who's writing this? More dramatic than us.
I know. How can that be?
Mia careens towards disaster.
See, are they being dramatic again? Is she just going to eat a piece of cake? Is that it?
Yeah, on way day.
Yeah.
She's run out of weeklies, but she's having a slice of cake.
Shut the gym, eat the cake.
Felicity offers a risky fix for Mackenzie's debt woes. So,
of course she does.
Yeah, flicks in on it. So she's got an idea of where to go.
Oh dear.
Nico claims that Chloe is out for revenge. Okay, same episode. That's because it's 6 p.m. Let me just change to 6:30. There we go. Theo, professional. Theo worries about Leah. Okay, I wouldn't. She's backstabbing him.
Yeah.
Mia suffers from insomnia.
Oh, so now she can't sleep or walk.
Oh yeah, she's gone full circle here.
Yeah.
A glass of wine, it helps you sleep, tell you.
Well, it helps you sleep, walk.
Nico goes hunting after a thief. Oh, the stick.
Oh,
I was thinking then.
I tried to block that out. Lick the stick.
Marilyn begins behaving strangely.
Oh.
Yes.
What? No.
I'm
Still?
so happy it's new Marilyn.
Oh no, she's not brought more booze to the house, has she?
What are you saying no for? They were our best podcast episodes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hi, Norway.
Do you see that line this week? Something like when Mac was going hot and cold with Ryder, and Ryder goes, 1 minute I'm golden, the next I'm dirt. And I'm thinking, that's like us to our Norwegian fans.
I know. Don't know what we did last week. Well, they didn't want this last week, did they? 1 minute we're golden, next minute, dirt. That was a really good line, actually. I really enjoyed that. The way you delivered it was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, yes, Ryder.
A stranger arrives asking for Jasmine.
Oh, there we go then. That's Luke.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. Theo runs away from the consequences.
Oh.
Back to his old. Okay. Leah brings up some bad news and Marilyn loses it.
Ooh. Is that Friday?
No, that's Wednesday. That's a bit of an obscure.
Oh my god, it's like halfway through the week. Okay.
That's a good pick you up for hump day.
Yeah.
Jasmine learns about a secret sibling. He's obviously the stranger that came up yesterday.
Yeah.
So, like, we've just been talking about that on the main bit. Jasmine's getting fleshed out, which I love. I'm looking forward to all this. I'm really looking forward to it all. And Cash draws attention to himself. Marilyn's issues are brought to light. Wait,
Cash draws attention to himself. He's not got less on in the kitchen, has he? He took his boxes off. I just got socks on.
That certainly would garner some attention amongst fans.
Just a sock, one sock. Oh dear.
I've just got visions of him sat there, you know that thing on Frozen. Whee! Family! Trying to get attention. And finally, Mackenzie is hounded by debt collectors. Okay. That's escalated.
Flick's plan didn't work then.
Doesn't sound like it. And Jasmine wonders about the father she never had. We just said that, didn't we? She's now going to wonder, especially if she meets a sibling.
Yeah.
You know, she's going to think, they've had the life I've never had. Yeah. Xander and Rose.
Oh, that's the siblings. That's the sister. Yeah.
Is Rose? Oh, so there's two of them. Look to be abandoning Jasmine.
Again, they've only been there a day.
Poor Jasmine. Oh, I'm looking really. I can't wait to see after that what's going on now this week. I'm really looking forward to what's happening. Let's see how this unfolds. I'm excited. I'm
glad Marilyn's getting a decent storyline again, not just in the diner serving coffee.
Yay for new mares. Right, that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for listening. We've had a blast, as always. Do ensure you like this episode. Follow us wherever you get your podcast from to be notified of any future episodes. And as always, we're on Twitter and Instagram at Coastal News Pod. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.